Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and welcome to my come window book shopping with me / 2022 new releases that I'm interested in video. That was a mess. Obviously it's a title that is, a work in progress, but I am trying to be on a, not necessarily a book buying ban, but a book buying restriction. So I wanted to do a video about 2020 new releases that I was interested in, but I also wanted to do a video about like come window shopping with me. So we're just going to combine those two things. I want to take a look at all of the upcoming releases that I am interested in. I want to take a look at all of the books that I might want to add to my wish list or lists to remind me that I want to get that in the future when I get a chance to. So yeah, I guess that's the general idea of this video for today, so we'll just jump right into it. So, the one that I wanted to jump right into was looking at 2022 releases that I'm interested in, just because I haven't really looked at anything in 2022 yet to even see what I would want to buy if it came out. So I pulled up a couple of blogs that are lists of best sci-fi and fantasy books coming in 2022. None of these is anything so far that I've heard of. See, another pandemic unleashed in this world. I don't know that that's something that I'm here to read right now. Nothing here. Oh, I have heard a lot about this author in particular. I haven't read anything by them though. The Circus Infinite. I don't love circus themed things. I hope this isn't going to be a fail. Maybe I should have gone to NetGalley. Maybe we'll check out NetGalley in addition to all of this. But yeah, I mean, for the record, if you guys have any 2022 releases that you're interested in that I haven't looked at while it's on here and you know anything about my reading taste, feel free to let me know, because I have no clue what's coming out next year. So I've heard of Rebecca Roanhorse. I haven't read Black Sun, I think is the name of that first book that she wrote. I'm interested in it, which means I'm kind of interested in this too. And I have no idea how long this series is supposed to be, but it seems like it's lengthy. I didn't love, what was it, The Ruin of Kings, I think was the first book in that series. So this is super spoilery for me. But that's the first blog that I pulled up. Let's check the next one. And obviously at the top here you guys can see the web address that I'm talking about that I'm using. So the Ivory Key I was actually really interested in, and I was denied for this arc, sadly, but I'm still really intrigued, and I am definitely interested in reading it when it comes out in January. It is YA fantasy. I know that there's something about some kind of puzzle solving element to it. I think that as part of like the publishing push for this, like the marketing push for this, they've been putting out a lot of like, not like treasure hunting, but like cryptic puzzle-y type things that you have to solve in regards to this book. So that got me hooked. Like their marketing push worked in terms of, what I'm interested in. But other than that, I mean, it says when magic runs out, four estranged royal siblings must find a new source before their country is swallowed by invading forces. It's Indian inspired, so yeah, I've got my eye on that one. Fans of Sarah J. Maas. That's not really the hook that they think that it is. This is what gets me. It's like when people compare everything to Game of Thrones or Harry Potter. Like, at that point, I just don't believe you. If you're gonna compare something to Game of Thrones or Harry Potter, you're literally just pulling that into the description to get people's attention. I don't believe you at that point. I don't think it's gonna be anything like what you're describing it as. So, it says that Born from Chaos by Wendy McIver, also January. This powerful story is both gripping and beautifully crafted. Scythe-wielding warriors intent on destroying their seemingly evil counterparts. Interesting. The Red Palace, that cover is really pretty. Also January. I've never heard of this author. Fans of Courtney Summers and Carrie Maniscalco. That's an interesting recommendation. Okay. Korea 1758. Few options available to illegitimate daughters in the capital city, but through the hard work and study, 17-year-old, I don't know how to pronounce that, Hyun, has earned a position as a palace nurse. All she wants is to keep her head down, do a good job, and perhaps finally win her estranged father's approval. Thrust into the dark and dangerous world of court politics, somebody murders 4 women in a single night. I am going to both mark this down as a to buy, because that sounds pretty cool. Castles. Laura Sebastian's coming out with another book. This is the author of Ash Princess, which I had read in one of my videos last year, and I never moved on to the rest of the series, even though I own it, and it's literally like right up there somewhere. I will move on eventually. Laura Sebastian also, I think, wrote Half Sick of Shadows, I want to say, which was like an Arthurian retelling that I, again, have not read. I used to look at my hands with pride. Now all I can think is these are the hands that buried my mother. That one doesn't really get me as much. Hafsa Faizal wrote, hold on, I'll get back to what they wrote in a second, but a planned duology where King Arthur meets Peaky Blinders. I've never read anything by Hafsa Faizal before, but the first part of a planned duology where King Arthur meets Peaky Blinders with vampires. Call me intrigued. We're gonna mark that one off for the list too. Oh, The Bone Spindle. This one I have heard of. LGBTQ and YA fantasy, gender-flipped Sleeping Beauty meets Indiana Jones. I have an arc of this for January, and I am super excited to get around to reading it because gender-flipped Sleeping Beauty meets Indiana Jones. Anything that has Indiana Jones, I know I just said that I hate it when people make these kinds of comparisons, but like, Indiana Jones is one of those ones that I will 100% always click on just to see if it remotely sounds interesting, and in this case, it did. Brave, is this, oh, this is different than the other one. Like, there's a, is it Maggie Stiefvater maybe? Somebody's coming out with like a book adaptation of Brave, like one of the Disney retelling things again. Foul Lady, Chloe Gong is coming out with a new, okay. I haven't read the other one that Chloe Gong wrote, which I believe was the Romeo and Juliet retelling that takes place in China, I want to say, Shanghai or Beijing. But it sounds super interesting. I have an ebook of it and I want to read it. I've heard so many people say that it's awesome, and this is a new series apparently. The first of 2 books, speculative historical noir surrounding the events of Imperial Japan's expansion into China in the 30s. Takes place after the events of these violent delights. Oh, so, okay. So it has to, it's like a spin-off series, I guess. Okay, so those are those lists. Okay, so this is probably more like what I was actually looking for. So, in terms of what Goodreads has on here, we have, so I didn't get into the Locked Tomb trilogy, or series. I don't know if it's supposed to be a trilogy or not. It doesn't, I've heard such mixed reviews from people that have read it that read the things that I like to read, so I don't know that it's something that I'm kind of enthused about starting, but I am very interested in obviously Miss War number 7, which is the new Wax and Wayne book, which is coming out. Apparently it's not a trilogy, and the 4th book in the Locked Tomb series is also coming out next year. Let's see, the next Murder Bot. Gallant by V.E. Schwab. I know that a lot of people are really excited about this. I haven't really. The only V.E. Schwab book that I have read is A Darker Shade of Magic. So, you know, we'll see. I'll see what people think about that when it comes out. The Golden Enclaves, which is the Scholomance book 3, and after the way that the Scholomance book 2 left me feeling some type of way, I need to know what happens next, but I'm mad about it. I do like the title though, The Golden Enclaves. Is this a joke? Did I miss some major news? Hold on, we gotta click on this. There's no way, right? There's no date for it. I feel better about this. I didn't miss anything. It's just on this list because the person who made this list is extremely hopeful. Oh, and yep, same for The Doors of Stone, so. Ooh, The Band book 3, Outlaw Empire. So it was Kings of the Wild, Bloody Rose, and then Outlaw Empire. I think this one's gonna be 2000s? 14 years after Bloody Rose. Okay, so we don't even have a blurb yet. I wonder which, are we gonna do the 2000s? Because it went 80s rock and then 90s, I don't know what the genre of music was, but it was 90s, so are we gonna go on to 2000s? Anyway. Yeah, we're very interested in Lachlan's, which is the Founders book 3, because I didn't love the way that Shorefall ended. The 3rd Crescent City book. I do have the 2nd one pre-ordered. Listen, she gets all of this hate. Her novels may be like fairy smut, but you know what? It's fine. Let people read what they want to read, because no, it's not the next literary whatever, but it's fun. So that's where I fall on that entire thing. And I really enjoyed Crescent City #1, and when Crescent City #2 comes out, I'm probably going to really enjoy that also. It just hits all of the fantasy romance points that I want it to hit, honestly. We are super interested in The Hunger of the Gods, as this is the one that we're going to add that because that's interesting. Sebastian de Castell is writing a new series, and I liked the first 2 Great Coats books that I read. I really need to read the 3rd one, and the 4th, I'm pretty sure there's 4. Oh, there's a second Amari and the Night Brothers book coming out, Supernatural Investigations, I guess it's called. I need to read the first one. The 3rd Aurelian Cycle book, we are interested in that for sure. Complete Expanse Story Collection. What does that mean? All of the short fiction. So it's short stories. Okay. I haven't read any of the short stories. I've only read the first 3 in the Expanse series. I am going to continue on with that series for sure. But apparently there's a bunch of short stories that I need to work on, so we'll get there. Obviously, I'm mostly just kind of scrolling through the things that I don't think that are particularly interesting to me. If I marked to read every single thing that I wanted, it would be an absolute mess. So we were just kind of sticking to the things that I knew that I wanted to read, but I did not know were coming out next year. I should have just started in Goodreads. This is honestly the most productive that this has been, so. Okay, so that's it for Goodreads. Let us move on to... Okay, so my camera battery died. You know the drill. I've switched over to my phone for filming, and I'm currently on the Barnes & Noble's website. So I've logged in. I think I'm gonna check out bestsellers. Why not? Alright, so obviously we've got the big stuff up top. The Wheel of Time, Dune, Foundation, The Witcher, The Expanse. Gift guide recommendations. Ooh, okay, so we want to add that to a list because I really do want to read Lore Olympus. If you don't know, Lore Olympus, it started out as a webtoons and finally got like published in an actual hard copy, which is really, really cool and awesome for that artist and author. I love most Hades and Persephone things, so I am in. I didn't realize there was an illustrated edition of The Last Wish, but your girl doesn't need another copy. So box set, box set, box set. Dune, I think that John wants to read Dune. I don't really know how interested I am in reading Dune, but we shall see. The new Joe Abercrombie book is coming, or is out, I assume? Probably. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Look, I own it, and I still don't know if I'm going to be reading that anytime soon. That's my bad. Alright, The Best of 2021, and The Last Graduate. Oh, that answers my question about the next book. Oh, but that does remind me over here. Sorry, I'm like a squirrel. I need to collect the rest of that series, and I need to do that at some point, hopefully soon. Alright, so that's all of those. Monthly picks. I have no idea if this video is going to be boring or not, so I apologize if you think that it is, because I don't really know what I'm doing here, but we're just gonna try and see if there's anything that well, this is me window shopping. Me just scrolling through the stuff that I am remotely intrigued by. This is how I'm bringing you guys with me while I'm doing it. Ooh, okay, so, I guess I don't know if I would really put this in the fantasy section over the romance section, because it is Nora Roberts. But y'all know I love Nora Roberts on this channel, and I have the first book in this series, which I think is called The Awakening. It involves dragons. I haven't read it yet. I do want to, which means that I do want the second one because I know her, and I know for a fact that I'm going to love the first one, so we're going to want the second one here just to have that on standby. That's not promising, and I don't know how I feel about it. I was a big Outlander fan as of 5 years ago when the last book came out. I read all of them. I binged all of them over the course of like a summer, I think, maybe a year or so after the TV show came out, and was obsessed. But I did feel that the later books in the series, pretty much everything after they moved to America, I think, got boring for me in comparison to all of the stuff that had come before. So I have not been in any rush to pick this latest book up since it came out. We'll wait to see how other people, review that later on after it's had more time out, but I think that I might be done reading the Outlander books, guys. I started losing interest. I even started losing interest in the TV show, and I was obsessed with the TV show. I've heard good things about For the Wolf by Hannah Witten, and I don't know that it's necessarily... Is it a Little Red Riding Hood retelling, or is it something else? It is okay. The Wolf of the Wood, the fractured fairy tale retelling of Little Red Riding Hood, a perfect recommendation for fans of Naomi Novik's Uprooted or Spinning Silver. Sounds good to me. What else is in here? Oh, that's the end of that list. So, top series. I do have one copy of that pre-ordered, but let's make sure that it's definitely in there, you know? Ooh, okay. I know I haven't talked about it much on this channel, but Sherilyn Kenyon is also one of my favorite fantasy romance authors. She writes an entire, like, I think she has 3 separate series going on right now, and they all involve, like, Dark Hunters, which, if you are at all familiar with Cassandra Clare, these are the books that had that little bit of a drama going on, where Cassandra Clare was accused of stealing all of her stuff from Sherilyn Kenyon in the Dark Hunters series. There are, for sure, similarities. I don't know which side of that argument that I fall on, and I do enjoy both series of books, and this is definitely adult, whereas Cassandra Clare does not write adult fiction. They're awesome. If you haven't read the Dark Hunter books, they are full of Greek mythology and magic and smut. They're just great. They're all fantastic. And she has a separate series full of shifters and then a different series full of dream hunters. They're fantastic. If you haven't read any of those and you're interested in like fantasy romance, definitely give them a shot. So we spent plenty of time on Barnes & Nobles, and I think the last website that I'm going to check out is bookshop.org. If you don't know, bookshop.org does have a mission to support local bookstores. You can shop online, and all of the proceeds or a lot of the proceeds, I think, do go towards the local bookstores that they are supporting. I am an affiliate of them. I do put the links to bookshop.org down in my description box for any of the books that I usually mention in any of my videos. So if you are at all interested in supporting them over supporting any of the other big conglomerations, I would definitely give that a shot. Their prices are not jacked up at all. I mean, they're not necessarily as low as you would get from Amazon, but they aren't ridiculous or any more or any different really than shopping at like your local Barnes & Nobles. So let's browse the fantasy section. Fantasy titles to swoon over. That should be something that's interesting. What is on this list? Anything that I care to put on a wish list? Oh, I've heard good things about this. I didn't love the other book by this author, the one about the 12 dancing princesses, so I don't think that I'll add that to the wish list today. What else is on here? Anything that I have been intending to buy? No. Ooh, okay, finally. So I've read the other books in this Master of Jinn world. Like, I've read the other couple of P. Djeli Clark books about the alternative historical Cairo thing, and I really, really enjoyed them. So we're gonna add that to the wish list for sure, because I am really, really interested in that one, and I really, really liked the previous 2 books. I read The Haunting of Tramcar 015, and I read A Dead Djinn in Cairo, which is not listed on there, but I read both of those. The Goblin Emperor, that sounds interesting. There's The Way of Kings, The Witch's Heart. I have read the description of this before because I fell in love with the cover, but I don't think that it's something that I'm actually going to be interested in picking up. I don't know. I am maybe a little bit of a cover buyer, but that time I just wasn't super into it. The Lies of Locke Lamora, that's one that I know for a fact that I would love to have a physical copy of, so while I'm here, I'm just going to do that. I think like last time, we're just going to go to page 10, because otherwise this is going to take forever. I have a copy of this, and it sounded just like a fun time, so I think that that is one of the other ones that I would like to get to sometime soon. And this must be the other novella that was talking about. I don't know anything about it, though. A lot of these I am interested in reading, but I do already own copies of them one way or the other, so I'm not just gonna, like, add them to a wish list just because I want to read them at some point in the future. Oh, yep, that one. Like I said, no, maybe not in this video. I've been reading the arc of this, and I have been enjoying it. I really liked the first one, so I would really like to have a physical copy of the second one as well. Okay, so that's it for fantasy. Let's check out the science fiction. Yep, there's science fiction. Is that really science fiction? Interesting. Okay. We're just gonna do what we did last time and just scroll straight to the bottom. Love this book. If you haven't read Project Hail Mary, definitely give it a shot. It is fantastic. And talked about Leviathan Falls already. Do love All Systems Red. I might not have as many options this time. This must be a smaller category. Is this the next book? I need to find out, because I might as well just add that to my wish list while I'm here. This is the 6th book. I think that I have books 1 through 5, so we're just gonna pop that on there. I have one of these. It might be this one. I don't know if it's this one or if it's a different book by Hank Green. I've been wanting to read Hank Green. I knew that John Green was not for me in any way, shape, or form. I just have never been interested in any of those books, but Hank Green's interest me greatly. Sibylla Byrne, I own that. Nemesis Games, I don't own that. Oh, this is the 5th book, so I lied. I have books 1 through 4. Monstrous, I have the first one, I think. I gotta stop adding these. We get the point at this point, I think, right? That I need the entire rest of that series. I need all of the Martha Wells books too, but it hurts me to pay, and I get it, like, I understand why, but it just physically causes me pain to pay the exact same price for a novella that I pay for a full-length or, like, 800-page novel or something. It's like 18 bucks or 16 bucks, depending on where you go, and it's literally, like, this big. It hurts my soul. Anyway. Okay. I know I said I was going to stop with the Expanse books, but this one, it just deserves to be added to a wish list because of purely how beautiful it is. I don't know if y'all have seen this, but it has the most gorgeous hot pink sprayed edges, and I would 100% replace my copy of Leviathan Wakes with this one in an instant. Artemis I have not read yet. Rogue Protocol I did read. The ebook was very good. And I think we're done here. Alright y'all, so that was my checking out 2022 releases that are coming out, in addition to doing a little bit of window shopping at 3 different bookstores online just to see what is out there, what I'm interested in picking up the next time I go out and actually bookshop, or ordering the next time I put in an order for books online. I'm sorry if this video was a little bit of a mess. I wasn't really sure what I was going for with it. I think that it definitely put a lot of ideas in my head in terms of what I want to pick up the next time I go out. When I remove myself from my book buying restriction, or when I put myself less in a book buying restriction, I guess, I don't know. But I am more aware of what's coming out next year now that I can be excited for, so that was a bonus, definitely. And if this was extremely boring to you guys, I apologize, but it was a lot of fun for me, so I don't know if I'm going to be doing another one of these again in the future, but it kept me entertained, and I love book shopping in any way, shape, or form, so checking out what's out there, what's going to be out there, all of that stuff was a lot of fun for me. But anyway, I guess that's it for this, because this is already going to be an absurdly long video. So I will put a link to bookshop.org down in the description, because that is the most pertinent one that I want to bring attention to. Obviously, most of you guys are aware of Barnes & Nobles already. While you're down in the description box, don't forget to like this video if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content from me. And also down there is my Goodreads, my Twitter, and my Instagram links in case you wanted to follow me on any of those. But that is it for this video today, guys, so I will talk to you in my next one. Bye.